Podcast starts at 19 seconds.
Welcome to a new episode of Fit the Description, a Black Men's podcast where various Black men come together to talk about life, society, entertainment, culture, news, and whatever else we want to talk about from various Black men's perspectives. I'm your host, G, and today we got Jason.
Yes, sir. It's real J Smooth, also known as DJ Smooth, J Squad Beats in the building.
Make sure you're in. Go ahead and like and follow depending on what platform you're on. Make sure to check out us on the various different podcast platforms. All the links will be down below. Also, just so you know, we are on Instagram, so you can check us out there. That one is the OPN, Opinion Peace Networks. Check us out over there on Instagram. And also check out the Clips channel, Fit the Description Clips, where you get small form factors of the podcast. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started with the podcast.
What niggas gotta admit is that he's not ducking no smoke.
No.
And this, to me, just with pure logic, feels the Pusha T angle. Like, I think the Pusha T angle is played. Let me explain to you why it's played. Because by simple process of elimination, if he took the battle with Kendrick and didn't take it with Pusha T, that would mean you guys are saying that Pusha T is better than Kendrick. Why would I? In my POV, Pusha T was not worth any time, rhymes, shine, none of that. He's not Kendrick Lamar. Drake is gonna think about it. He took Meek Mill at a point. Meek Mill was a hot rapper in hip hop, where it's in his best interest to go at him. Like, when he responds, everybody gonna listen. When Meek put that record out, everybody listen. When Drake knows when he puts his record out and they doing this, they both gonna make money. They both gonna gain fans. It's gonna be in the best interest of what they're doing. Not a Pusha T. So, like, I just think he didn't feel like Pusha T was worth his time. Because if you're saying, like, because he took it with Kendrick Lamar, so he's obviously not scared to take no smoke, right? So I just think people don't think about it like, oh, he wants to smoke with Pusha T. Yeah, but he wants to smoke with Kendrick, and he went at him for real. It wasn't like, so for you to say he didn't want to smoke with Pusha, you're implying that Pusha, warranted more attention than Kendrick because he's not ducking the smoke. He's not. And I think that he wants to be accepted in hip hop as a rapper, which some people just don't like. You a pop nigga, but he's not. I think he's gonna come out of this with a new level of respect and music wise. Like, if you're a real music head, you should be like, yeah, he lost, but he got out there. He didn't run.
Yeah.
He didn't Cole it out. He didn't J. Cole it.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel me?
Exactly, yeah. But
he didn't J. Cole it, you know? So, like, that should be considered. Like, he even told him that nigga Cole losing sleep over this, but not me. Like, I'm out here on you niggas. I really is one of the best fans, one of the best rappers to ever do it. I'm about to show you. He just happened to take an L. But the whole Pusha T thing, I just don't think he thought, like, niggas not even checking for Pusha T. So why would he be? Like, Pusha T's a great rapper, phenomenal talent, but his own label wasn't checking for him.
Yeah. And that's how I feel about the difference between Pusha T and, because I listened to Pusha T. I'm like, yeah, Pusha T got Drake, but, like, again, Kendrick is a whole entire level of artist from Pusha T. I hate to say it like that. Right. That's not discrediting him, but I think Kendrick, I should say, not a whole nother artist, but a more popular artist than Pusha T.
What? He's way better than I would never put Pusha T and Kendrick Lamar in the same. What?
No.
Don't.
No. I didn't say Pusha T wasn't dope. That's not what I said. I said Kendrick Lamar is a higher. Well, let me put it, is a more popular artist than Pusha T right now. Even though I'd not like to know. I like Pusha T. I personally believe, and you may disagree, I like Pusha T more than Drake. But To me, Drake was a way bigger artist, but that's just me. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I fuck with Pusha T. I fuck with Pusha T when he was with the Clips. I fuck with some of his songs. I just like Drake said, like the narratives just be getting painted like you that's not your life.
Yeah.
Like you never really sold drugs and you're perpetuating an image just like you try to say Drake is. Drake kind of exposed that too. Like, nigga, you ain't never really did that. That's not your life. You don't. And all of Pusha T's music is about the same thing.
Yeah.
Selling coke. So like, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. I got taken when he gets on and he does features, but career wise and skill wise, I don't think he was worth putting that much effort into it. Not that this nigga didn't want to rap against him because you talked about his kid and, you know, they're like, bro, like, it's just not worth it for me. It's not, and I can understand that. He felt like, nah, Kendrick is worth this battle. This is a legacy battle. Kendrick Lamar, Pusha T's not legacy. Niggas not gonna be like, oh, he's.
It's the same thing with was it Nelly and who did he go up against? That'll be what Nelly was going up, where he was going against somebody, but Nelly was just a more popular artist. So even though he had better, I forgot who he went up against.
Yeah, who the didn't Nelly go against?
Yeah, I forgot who it was. But Nelly said it best. The song that you remember, Nelly, I don't even remember his name. But I remember Nelly.
That's my point.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, there's not gonna be a day. I'm sorry, bro. Like, if Drake really wanted to respond, because it's one thing. How do I say this? It's one thing to gossip rap.
Okay.
Like, I think, like, to gossip rap is like I said, that's kind of just like one angle in this whole battle rap. Like, one thing you can do is just like, I'm about to just be disrespectful and gossip or just expose your business, right? Because he did expose this nigga had a son. So it was more of a shock factor than what how he was saying and what he was saying it. I truly believe if Drake went to put that same energy he just put into Kendrick Lamar into a Pusha T, he would have done him dirty. He would have done Pusha T dirty, dog, because it's so much he could touch on, like, that he knows, and the way he would have said it, niggas, it's like real hip hop. Like, y'all, he kind of barring niggas. He's kind of out barring this nigga. Because I think Pusha T's dope, but I don't really like. He don't really be like, it's his style. He don't really be barring to me. He don't be really barring up, bro. Like, and I just think like it's just the type of his content, his lyrical content resonates with people more than how he's saying what the hell he's saying it. So I just think that he just wasn't worth his time. He's just not in any way, shape, or form wasn't worth a back and forth clash like with Kendrick. He felt like Kendrick is a giant in this. They put that nigga in the big three. He said, "Fuck y'all, I don't want to be a part of that." And he's like, "All right, well, nigga, let's do this for hip hop." You know, I don't think, nah, man, like this nigga really, and it's like the only reason I know and can compare Kendrick and Cole and Drake because I listen to them a lot. I don't listen. I'm not a huge Kendrick. Like, I can't say you listen to him in college. I can't say that about Kendrick. But for the last decade, I've definitely been more tapped into his music and know that he's highly skilled at what he does. Right? Yeah. Same thing with Cole. I've listened to enough of all three of these artists' music to know like they really can rap for real. And I just think people don't really think Drake be rapping because he be doing R&B and, you know, be pop music. He just multifaceted where everybody else is just kind of in their lane of like, I'm just hip hop. People just be like, nah, bro, go make a One Dance or, you know, a Controller or whatever the fuck, you know, Hotline Bling. You know, they don't really see.
I think it's that. I do think it's also came from the Pusha T beef where they were talking about he's the ghostwriter. I think that hurt him, and I also think that old video where oh god, who was he on? Flex, where he could he was trying to rap, it wasn't coming out.
I remember that. I do.
Man, do they hold that against him?
Yeah. Then there are some questionable things that has happened, right?
Yeah.
I have to be honest about that. There are some questionable things that has happened. But it's well known in the industry that Drake be writing for other niggas.
Mm-hmm.
Like Drake's written for Kanye West before. Like Kanye West don't write all his music.
Yeah.
But nobody talks about Kanye West because I guess they think he a producer, rapper, like, or something. Nobody ever you got ghostwriters. Like, no, Kanye West avidly produces songs and has niggas write. Like Drake is known to write for other artists. And because he got a reference song, that killed him. He did have a reference track. Niggas just gonna run with that narrative. Be like, you don't write your music. But I know Drake writes this music because I was listening to Drake before niggas even know who he was. If Drake do got a ghostwriter, that nigga has been writing for him for 20 years. So if whoever his ghostwriter is has been writing for him since he came into music on the early mixtapes, because he's had the same writing style. His pen hasn't changed. His voice hasn't changed. His cadences hasn't changed. The way he raps is how he raps.
That's the big That's one of the big criticisms that they have about Drake is the fact that he does tend to, depending on who he work with, he will change his cadence. That is one of the things that people do. Like, I remember he did it with he did this with the was it a British rapper at one point in time?
Yeah, he got a couple songs with British rappers.
Yeah, and
but I'm saying like. But what the is he supposed to be like the baby and sound like the same on every song he does? Like, I don't know if is that really a detriment, the fact that he can do multiple genres. The nigga did a song with Bad Bunny in Spanish.
Well, this is the stuff that people hold against him. So
yeah, I get it. The other stuff seems valid, but to be like, oh, nigga, you went and rapped a certain way on a British UK drill song. Well, yeah, nigga, it's UK drill. Like, I don't get that narrative. That makes no sense. Why would I come and rap the same way on every song and not match the style of the song? I mean, he rapped on a song with YG, and it's really his features. I'm talking about there's like Drake features, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's songs where Drake is just rapping on his shit, where he's just rapping straight, clean through on a hip hop song. That Drake has been the same person since I started listening to him. So where I know, like, okay, this nigga is right. I can tell he's penning this because of how it's coming out. Now his like big chart topping hits and the features, he does adapt. He will go into another culture and do some, Amapiano or some Afro beats, right? And kind of mesh or blend into whatever that artist or that culture is doing. Now, some people call that being a culture vulture.
Yeah.
I could see that. I can see that, but then he's always like giving niggas credits. Like, he's put a lot of money in people's pockets that was broke before he used their song.
And you know what?
I
want to say this. This is one thing I will give him, but I feel like people try to take away from it, is that Drake has put a lot of people on.
A lot, yeah. See?
Yeah, and people try not to give him credit. That's one thing. I will give Drake that much. He has historically, whether they at the end it fell apart, he still put a lot of people on. A lot of people you would not know about if it wasn't for Drake.
Yeah, I wouldn't know who the Migos was if it wasn't for Versace Remix.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I just wouldn't have not known who that. I wouldn't know who the Weeknd was if it wasn't for Loving the Crew. I wouldn't know a lot of these people. So what it is people want him to not benefit in the situation. No, he's smart. He's like Kendrick had a good point. Oh, you needed some street cred, so you went over here and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, nigga. I sure did. He wanted the street cred, so he went over here, made a song out of that. But what did the other person get? They got a #1 song on the charts. Mm-hmm. So, like, am I not supposed to? Is everything supposed to be a one-sided situation? If he's coming over here and he's taking new artists off the ground, you know what I'm saying? New artists that niggas ain't never heard before, doing a song with them. Now they be able to become a star, feed their family, and he gets something out the deal where he's either being known more in another culture, another country, he's expanding his fan base. But everybody's winning in this situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know all the details. I'm not going to talk because I heard stuff about XXX Tentacion and all these, situations where I'm like, okay, he might have just went over there and took some or did something and not in the right way. But he's put countless rappers on. He's put The Weeknd on. I don't know. He put Kendrick on his first tour. So like, don't say Kendrick won the beef, but like, I put you on my first tour, nigga, like to make you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like, where do we go from like realistic?
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, that's a conversation that I'm not trying to get into today, but I'll just say this much that, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to make everybody happy. I'll put it like that. Like,
there you go.
Yeah. I mean, again, the only thing I care about right now is what's going to happen after this and what's going to look like after all this. Is Drake going to come back like he is, or is there going to be a little bit of fall off on his career? But we'll have to see.
No,
so
I don't think so.
I'm curious.
I don't think so. I think that the only people that were so emotionally involved were people from the West Coast. Everybody else was able to watch it unbiasedly. Everybody else was able to just watch it as a rap beef between two artists, unless you were from the West Coast. Everybody from the West Coast was just like, nah, fuck that, nigga. I had homies that got into it with. I'm like, bro, it's just rap, it's music. Calm down, dog. Like, but so if they're not emotionally attached to it, it just was like, yeah, Drake. Like, some people think Drake got smoked. He got smoked. Okay, he got smoked. If that's your opinion, it's your opinion. Cool. Yeah. Y'all said the same thing after the Pusha T thing, and then what happened? He came and dropped countless. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all thought he got killed with the Pusha T beef, and then the nigga came back and still did his thing. So I find it hard to believe just off of this battle alone, anything will happen to his career. Now, the allegations, anything like that happens in the future on that definitely would hurt him and impact him. But just the battle of him losing to Kendrick, I don't.
Well, again, the only reason why I feel that way is because it's going outside of hip hop, and that's the problem. So, because a lot of people, like even like the freaking politic world's coming out talking about, oh yeah, and then like I said, that video keeps killing them. So that's the only thing where I'm like, the fact that it's going outside.
Yeah, but that video been out for like 7 years, 10 years.
But that's the world.
But that video.
That's the world today. Like people don't even care about it. Ain't nothing. All of a sudden they bring it back, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, he's been like, yeah." I mean, but that's the world today.
Yeah, like that video. Like, people been seeing, like, you know what I'm saying? It just brought a magnification glass, magnifying glass on it to where it's being circulated more. But like, I think time is going to make things, unless, just for the record, unless something pops up that is like, I know we're going to get into this Diddy convo, and everybody, so prime example, niggas have been talking about Diddy forever. Niggas knew he was on some weird shit forever, right? He even settled the case with Cassie years, like he did. That's already been old, right? It wasn't until, like, put it this way, everybody had their opinions on Diddy. He settled the thing with Cassie. People started looking at him differently, right? But he was still Diddy doing him. Feds raided his house. Now it's like, okay, we now know something is weird going on here, right? But still, celebrities was quiet. People still had their reservations and didn't want to jump to any conclusions because, hey, nothing's been proven. When the video dropped, that is the moment that I am talking about. That, and just to reference Drake before we get off of that, I think something like that will have to happen in order to really make a shift, because now everybody's like, fuck Diddy, bro. Like, I'm even like, fuck Diddy. Everybody in the world, it's on news. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is where I think things have to get to where it's concrete. Because people not just, a rational mind, not just going to jump to a conclusion based on a rumor or a suppose or an interpretation. Like, now that I've seen it with my own eyes, bro. I knew something was up when the feds ran in there. Feds ain't running in nowhere that they ain't got some hardcore evidence on.
Facts.
They're not doing it. You feel me?
Yeah. No, that Diddy situation was crazy. Because I remember when I first heard about it. And again, I've heard rumors, but like I never really pay attention to it because it's rumors. But then, Grant, like I tell everybody, if you lived in California for any length of time, you've heard rumors. We all have.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, that Diddy situation was like I've heard weird stuff about him, but nothing that was like concrete. So I never thought about it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm sad. Hey, Cassie, I had a crush on Cassie when I was in high school. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey.
Man, I was really into Cassie back then. But man, but yeah, that video that came out that hotel was brutal, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that shifted my whole perspective on, bro. I grew up on this music because although I was definitely West Coast, you know what I'm saying? Death Row Records, you know, that whole situation with even during the beef, and I was
all the videos.
Yeah, and all the it's like I still love East Coast music because that's the mecca of hip hop. So I still would love Notorious and Puff, you know what I'm saying? Because they were written, Bad Boy as a whole. Like I was a big fan. I'm just a big fan of music. So even though I'm in West and I got my West bias, I grew up off of Diddy and Bad Boy. So for this to come out like this, it's kind of like, damn, bro, you know? And it's crazy. Let's talk about this. Not because of the Cassie thing, because we know that that's been settled and it's past the statute of limitations. That's done. Why ain't this man been arrested yet?
That's
great question.
I think it's coming, personally.
Okay.
I personally think it's coming because I think the bill, because like, I mean, I'm not sure if you heard the rumors that were going on with like the parties and stuff. And some of the things, like the wild thing I heard was I think he had like what naked basketball games with dudes? Like, that's wild. That was wild. And I'm like, there's no way. But then like I look, like I ain't gonna lie, I'm just like kind of looking back at like what I remember from Diddy like back in the day. And I'm like, you know, I always looked at like kind of like how like after Big died, how he never could keep an artist. Like I don't ever remember any artist from Bad Boy after Big like being high. It just feels like they came in, he used them, and then got rid of him. My fault, not rid of him. Rid of them, like every single one. And you know the Shine situation where they said Diddy he was actually one who shot, but then he took the fall. Like all of this shit, I'm just like, I don't know. To me, Diddy always seemed kind of, I could say it now with this coming out, he always seemed a little scummy. I just didn't feel like any sense of loyalty from him. I mean, even the situation like even like when Game was telling his story about Diddy was just kind of like, it just kind of like nothing happened, but it sounded weird.
Yeah. And
the only dude who I've heard that came out really against it, that's like that dude was weird, was like 50 Cent. But that to me was on some street shit. But it was like he's the only dude that I heard that was like, nah, I don't fuck with that dude.
Yeah. 50 be knowing, bro. That's why I don't fuck with 50. 50, he's really been around for a minute, man. And you know, with Diddy, I mean, I think that there may be. So I've heard a couple of different, just little conspiracies and things that if you start to line some stuff up could be true or make some type of sense that because let me tell you what don't make no sense. The man ain't in he's not at a place where he can't be found right now. Like they know where he is. The fact that the feds ran in his house ain't had nothing to do with the Cassie situation. That was a whole different. Whatever they went in that man's house for, he should be under arrest right now. If he's not, there may be some higher powers that be that are involved in this, because it was alleged that this man has a lot of footage.
I was about to get to that.
Very important people that you know, I mean, the man was Diddy, man. You know, he did party with everybody, so he apparently had a lot of, you know, incriminating footage of important people like Epstein. The same, very similar story where, you know, these people that are in high positions of power, you know, and all this crazy stuff going on in his crib, all of that's being recorded, you know, because now, you know, the whole thing I heard, the rave was about sex trafficking, and, you know, I just find it very surprising that he just posted a video on Instagram a couple of days ago. Like, why is he not arrested? Not over the Cassie thing. That's been done. Like, he didn't file no suit and it was settled. Like that there's nothing that can come more from that particular thing. But he has a, you know, for the fans to run in, they had to have had more than probable cause. And for him to just be chilling, I done seen this nigga in stores and out in the streets. He's not, you know what I'm saying? So like you said, it could be coming down the road, but I think he has something on some people. That's what I think. I think it might be bigger than what we really thinking, because you know, all the people that went over there and did what they did, now they're like, damn, they done raided his house. Oh my God. What if they find that night from 7 years ago when I was over there? You know what I'm saying? It's going crazy. So, you know, time will tell, brother.
Conspiracy hat on. We'll let you know if you know. Conspiracy hat on. This is a conspiracy. No proof, no evidence. This is just how I feel about it.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm not too close to the truth, because if I'm too close to the truth, you may not see me tomorrow. So just remember, throw away my hard drive. We're good. But to me, I personally what I think, I don't think it was just a sex trafficking ring. I think, like you said, I think there's some tapes in there. Rumor has it he got some tapes. And I think he probably pissed off the wrong person.
Right.
And I think now you're at the point, especially at the point where we got to get this dude the fuck up out of here. Because the funny thing is, before the Cassie video, when he was getting trashed, there was post that he put out, and he was coming out kind of talking about some people, like he about to put out some information.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the Cassie video came out, kind of went a little bit silent. And it's kind of funny how you say everybody settled. You know, everybody settled, but this video just comes out. So let's Cassie is scorned and it's like, I'm gonna get this nigga no matter what. I don't know. I think there's something else going on. I think it's deeper, something I don't want to know about.
He said that I don't know about. I mean, that happened 8 years ago or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that Cassie situation. So for something to be, that's how you know it's something weird going on. A video like that happened 8 years ago and it's just not being put out? Nah, that's intentionally being released now. There's no way. I mean, we've seen videos of everybody in getting and they're having domestic disputes in elevators and in hotels. That came out right after it happened, because people is in there and they willing to leak it. Let me tell you what happens. And generally, the people that be working at these hotels, TMZ be on their ass. TMZ be like, I got 50 bands for you, go on and leak that video. I got 100,000 for you, go on and leak that. That's what be happening. The hotels don't be putting it out. It be people that be leaking the videos, that be working there, that be getting paid from TMZ and tabloids and paparazzi. That's what be happening. So they be in there. Just think about it. If I was a security guard and I'm sitting there watching the tapes, I'm there. I'm watching it. I'm a regular Joe Schmo. I work at the hotel. TMZ, they either hit up TMZ or TMZ hit them up, depending on if that's been put out in public, and they just sell the footage. Those are leaks. This right here, to have been kept under for so long and just randomly put out at this time, nah, son. You right. Somebody's trying to get rid of my guy. It has to be. There's no other how they would have did it a long time ago if it was about justice and people being able to see it. What? Yeah.
So I'll,
You know.
so I'll say this. I'll say this story. And because this happened even before I was born, and I'll keep some
Jeez.
parts out, but there was a dude who had a known dude, a really big dude, a dude with a lot of power, who basically had a party and he kind of took it too far. And from what I was told, again, I wasn't there, I was not even on this earth, and this at a hotel. They said the party was wild. They said they went into that room and they said all they found was money, bitches, and cocaine, and
Party.
a couple animals.
And a couple of animals.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes.
No. What?
Yes. It's a very powerful dude. And basically, the guy who worked there, who I knew, basically they said they had to get this dude, scoop him up, and put him in back of a cab and get him out of there, so they couldn't get caught. And I'm positive they have footage of that situation. But mind you, this was bad before social media, but still, they have cameras back then, from my understanding. But nobody knows about it. So that's why I'm saying, you're talking about Diddy, who has, you've seen the matching that he has. And this dude, this coming out, and somebody that powerful, when it's people like this, like a Epstein, nah, there's something else going on that I really don't want to know about. But yeah, I think personally, Diddy pissed off. He had something on somebody. He pissed off the wrong people. He got too close to the sun. Yeah. And now they're just like, nah, we got to get you out of here.
It makes a lot of sense. Everything has been under wraps, and people have known about this in the industry, and everybody's just having a good time and turning a blind eye to it. And then people start to look. It's like this. It's like if all this is happening, and it's never, and he just flew under the radar, and everything's chill, then everything's chill, right? Yeah. Like, he got the taste, we cool, we know he ain't gonna do nothing. But then if he starts getting into legal trouble, and people that were a part of that noticing that he's getting into legal trouble, that now opens the door for exposure, right? Like, everything's been cool the whole time. You've been cool. You've been under the radar. But now you're not under the radar. So there's a very high likelihood of what I did to be exposed through you, nigga. You got to go. That's why some people said that, I don't know, just rumors that maybe he was able to get a lot of that stuff out of there before the feds even got there.
I wonder. That would be interesting.
And they said he took a plane over to a whole nother country or some shit. Like, when he left there, he took a plane and got up out of here. So, like,
okay, hold on.
That having even happened is crazy.
Okay, hold on, no. Okay, about that, no, that was no. He was on his way out of here, but they caught him before he left, because I think they said they found him going on a private airplane to Florida, and before he left, they got him.
Right. Before he was able to leave, Before he was able to leave, they got him. There you go. But he still left that house.
Yeah. He wasn't there. He wasn't there at all.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? And he wasn't arrested, but his kids was, right?
Yeah.
So does that make any sense to you that they caught him and before he could leave, but he wasn't arrested? Why wasn't he arrested? This is what I'm saying. That don't make no sense. His kids was arrested, but he wasn't arrested, and they got to him before he can get up out of here? No, that's right.
Yeah.
How, son? That makes sense. Oh, no, it makes sense because either he's being protected or he's being or he's being outed. Either somebody is like, look, I need for what he got to not get out, or we got to take him out so what he got don't get out. Something.
That's how
I don't get it.
Well, my fault. Conspiracy theory. That's why kind of the casting video was about. Was just because I think that was over, but I think that was that thing of Dave. That's what I'm saying. What I was hearing, he was about to say, he was like, if I'm gonna go down, bringing people with me. Once that Cassie video came out, he was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't know what I was thinking. I'll be honest with you, I don't think that's the first time he did that. I think he's done that plenty of times. That's just how it looks like to me. So I don't know. I mean, that's a when you get to that level, it's a piece of work, man. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever heard? Did you ever hear about the stories about the girls that go to Dubai?
I have saw something about that, but I don't know what exactly. What are you talking about?
What you call it? There was a video that came out, and mind you, this came out on the internet. But like models that go to Dubai, and like one of the models was saying that like she was gonna take her brother over there with them. Um,
No, I
uh,
didn't hear that.
yeah, another one was saying that this girl basically I'm trying to say what's the best way to say it so it's not so vulgar. Uh, you ever heard of a Dirty Sanchez?
No, but I probably understand what you're saying.
Okay, yeah. Let's just let's just say um there's some dudes and some girls on the internet have came out talking about this. There's some dudes that have very interesting fetishes of
Right.
stuff from the back end coming out and enjoying it.
Yeah.
So my point of bringing that up is that when you start dealing with people of a certain level, they get into some. And again, this is stuff that's been out there, and you can find the video on YouTube if they haven't deleted it. But everybody's seen it. But I'm saying once you get to that level, there's some interesting stuff that happens up there. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, man. I can
Yeah.
only imagine. You know what's going on. What's going on there, man? You know, it's you know, I don't. That's not hard to believe at all, brother. You know, so I mean, we'll see. Like you said, we'll see what happens. Because one thing I have noticed, obviously with black men more than other, but just even what like people like nobody's really. You can't really get away with nothing no more, bro. You seen like the Nickelodeon dude, he got exposed and made a whole thing about him. You know, obviously Epstein and just R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, and in this world, you not really finna get away with no crazy stuff like that. So, if he did it, it's gonna get exposed. You know.
I think things that. Yeah, let's just say if he did it, things will get exposed. I'll just say that. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah.
Things that he did is gonna get exposed. Yeah, absolutely. Which I mean, again, they're already like so you're starting to hear people talk. I mean, what you call it, his I didn't see that entire interview, but his security guard came out against him.
I seen that. I saw that way before anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, going viral. You know, so I mean, you know, we gonna see, brother, because it ain't too much. You know, I just think there's nothing you can really do about being. You know, you can't hide anymore. Then people want money, so you're always getting that element of it of someone wanting to expose you just for a payday.
Mm-hmm.
And with this situation, he just too powerful. I think he has a lot of crazy footage of people. I believe he recorded every single thing in his house.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the stuff, like I said, the basketball game, I heard like something about dudes wearing dresses. I'm like, bro.
I won't deny it, bro.
Oh my God. Like, dude, anybody who was involved with that situation, and it's bad because it's leaking to other people too that probably had nothing to do with it, but because you were hanging around them, it's like, man, they look like. But again, I mean, hold on 1 second. Okay, my bad. Somebody else is just trying. It's about to come in. But yeah, just oh, dude, like there's something I don't think we'll ever get the full story, personally. Fair enough, but I think with Diddy, I think right now his best bet is to just be quiet, sit down, and don't say nothing.
Oh, he
Like
gonna do that. That's what his lawyer's gonna tell him to do. Shit.
to be honest, I think he's pretty much done. I mean, I think he just needs to, retire and enjoy his money.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now that video's come out, there's no way he can get away. Like, it's too much has happened. It's one thing. Like I was saying, it's one thing allegations where, you can just believe allegations or not, right? Like, there's nothing. But once the feds run in, once you settle out of court and the video, all that is not. That's no longer allegations. That's legitimate proof of what he's been doing, and he just apologized for it. So
Yeah,
whatever that means. Yeah, whatever that means. Like, yeah, I mean, you basically admitted what we saw on that camera. Some people say, "Oh, I ain't did." Like, bro, that's it, man.
And it's so funny because I remember that last one where he's like, all these people are defaming my character. That wasn't me. And then that footage came out. It's like,
Yeah.
like again, I would like whoever he's talking to. I would have been like, hey man, what do I got to do just to sit on my couch, count my dollars? Y'all leave me alone. Like I said, I'll stay in my. I'll stay in my cave and I won't come out no more.
Yeah, maybe he paid somebody off and the money ran out.
Yeah, maybe.
It's extortion.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some. Like I said, man, when you play with big money, when you play with big money, all that. I always like to say, man, I'm tired of dealing with poor people's problems. I would love to have rich people problems, but the problem is when you deal with rich people problems, it comes with some really, very serious consequences.
Yeah, as long as you ain't wilding. You just gotta, it just depends on the type of person you are. Some people just aren't, money just magnifies the type of person you already are.
Yeah.
It don't change you, it just magnifies who you are. So if you're a shit person, when you get money, you're gonna be more of a shit person, because there's a lot of people with money that just live happily and you never hear about them because they're private and just do their own thing. But, it's like, with these, when people hit the money and the power, you gotta understand it's the power. The money, everybody with money don't got power.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of rich people that they ain't got no power, they just got money. When you get the money, power, and respect, that's why they say money, power, respect, that can go to a lot of people's heads. You just feel invincible. I feel like you can do whatever the fuck you like. All right, whatever. You sue me, whatever, I'll pay you. You do this, whatever, I'll get you killed. You do this, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You start getting wild when you start getting all that. You like, I know people in Congress. I know people. I got policemen. I got everybody on my side. So you just start acting crazy because you think you're invincible. Nobody can stop you. So until they do, So.
Let me ask you about this. Let me ask you about this. What do you feel about the black men in a dress theory?
I just had this conversation with somebody. So, yeah, I was just talking to my brother about this. I think is there's can you pull some legitimacy out of that narrative? Sure, I believe you could pull some legitimacy out of anything that that people perceive to be true. Do I think that there is a targeted effort to put black men in dresses? I don't know. We'd have to break that down because, like I was just talking with my brother, the black men that have been in dresses, and we're talking about entertainers, when that's talking about these new rappers, Uzi Vert and that are just weird and they wear okay. Okay, so I think that these are all comedians, right? These are all comedians and actors, and I believe that a lot of them are doing the same thing because this is my thing. Nobody said shit when Robin Williams did Mrs. Doubtfire, right?
Not true anymore. A lot of people, because that's a narrative too. But they're also talking about like a lot of this. They're also saying like if it's a strong guys too, like which Arnold Schwarzenegger was one. Hulk Hogan back in how you feel about it, that's not important to this conversation. But Hulk Hogan was one. Who else?
Right.
There's a couple of guys. The Rock was a big one. People forget about that. Saturday Night Live.
Right. So, but that proves the point I'm trying to make is that there's never a conversation about them being emasculated and being in drag. When they do it, it's funny and it's for the sake of comedy, right? I feel like when we do it, it's first of all, we're the only people talking about it because other races aren't having a conversation about black men being in dresses. It's the black community talking about it.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is this is not like a thing that like only black men do.
Yeah.
I think that the people that have done it, first of all, people pick and choose. Let's sidebar. People pick and choose their selective outrage as well. Because when Martin Lawrence was doing Shanae, nobody had this conversation. It was not a conversation. I know it wasn't a conversation. Martin is renowned, was known as one of the greatest TV sitcoms ever, especially a lot of black people's top sitcom ever. So when Martin was doing it as Shanae, this narrative didn't exist. Let's go back farther than that. When Jamie Foxx was doing it on In Living Color,
yeah, there
was no narrative of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that now, the Wayans brothers made a classic movie doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody talks about Eddie Murphy in The Nutty Professor. Like, they don't even bring him into this whole black man in the dress combo. I don't be hearing him. It'd be just different niggas. Like, I think I would
just say I do, but if you haven't, that's fine. But I know I have.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like everyone that does do it, first of all, they choose to do it. These are all people that are doing this. I would say, with the exception of maybe Jamie Foxx, these are all people that's doing this towards the height of their career. This is not something that they're like, let me get you an opportunity to get exposure to put you on. I mean, Eddie Murphy did it at the height of his career. Martin Lawrence did it at the height of his career. The Wayans brothers did it at the height of their career. And Martin Lawrence did it at the height of his career. So these are just, to me, I think, my personal opinion, I think it's a little bit looked in. I think we might be dragging it a little bit because they're all comedians. It'd be different if it was like Denzel Washington. You get what I'm saying? If Denzel Washington, a person that's not known for comedy whatsoever, that is always plays serious roles, gets into a dress and does something completely opposite of what he's built his career on, I would think that would be a valid argument. These are all funny comedians and actors that just want to expand their palette by doing something different. Now, they killed Tyler Perry with it.
Yeah.
Right? Tyler Perry made a whole career out of it, right? But I just don't think that it's something, like Tyler Perry chose to be Madea. Tyler Perry, it would be different if Tyler Perry had never done it. And then when he was trying to get into movies and, when he was recording at these different studios before he had his studio, and then when he was trying to get his big break into the film industry, that they said, nigga, you got to get in the dress. No, he decided to get in the dress when nobody knew who Tyler Perry the hell he was. He created that character and created those plays that he funded and did. Those are his projects. So I just think we may be, I don't know. I don't really kind of believe in that just because of the people that are doing it, the time that they're doing it, and the fact that they're comedies. Like I said, I'd be shocked if Denzel or one of our non-comedic actors, because you can't really give me a non-comedic actor that's done it. Like, who? Let's start this combo. What non-comedic actor has just chose to be are put inside of a dress that's black.
Okay, so I don't think he was playing a dress, but didn't Will Smith have a role where he had to? He didn't do it, but did he have a role early on in his career where he had to kiss a guy?
Will Smith definitely did a gay scene, for sure.
Yeah.
He definitely did a gay scene. I can't remember what film that was in. Yeah, he did some fruity. I mean, let me stop. He did. he did do that. But then, like, that's a whole nother topic of conversation of like, can you be an actor and do something that, you know, do a gay scene or something that you're actually not? Like, I don't know. I'm not an actor. They're actors. Like, I was just watching Luke James. I watch Luke James on The Chi all the time. Is he gay? Because he's definitely dating transgender men on The Chi. Definitely kissing them on The Chi. I don't know if Luke James is gay. Luke James ain't said he was gay. Like, I just don't know if you can be an actor. Maybe you're such a good actor that you become another person, because people don't understand a real acting, the mind state of becoming like a real good actor, where in their minds, that's not them anyway. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not them. They become the character. They are them. They become them. The greatest actors, but they're no longer, when they're in that mode, they're they're whoever they're supposed to be. So they may be able to compartmentalize or completely separate themselves from what is going on here. You know what I'm saying? Just like Leonardo DiCaprio became an ultra racist in Django.
Yeah.
Is he racist? No, everybody loves Leo. All the niggas love Leo. So I just feel like, can you do something like be in a dress or play a gay role or do whatever, be a racist as an actor, and that not be a representation of who you are? Yes, because it's acting. That's what acting is about. I don't see a real effort to force these people to do anything. I think that they're comedians, and at one point they choose to do something like that, and no other community does this to their actors when they do it either. And I get it where we can pull from, because shit, slavery, they demasculated men, they buck broke us, which was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which was, if you know about what buck breaking is,
Yeah, I know about
that, you know, they did things to us during slavery that was intentional to emasculate us and make us not more like, you know, feel not like men. So I think that's where it stems from.
Yes,
That's where I think the causation is where that trauma is like, hey, what y'all doing? You know, why every time I see a black man, you in a dress? And it's like, okay, I can see that. But I think from the actor's perspective, they're like, bro, we're just acting like Marlon and Shawn Wayans. They just wanted to become two white chicks and put on and do a dope movie. And Big Mama's House and Nutty Professor are works of art. The Nutty Professor is a work of art. The fact that he was able to play these different characters. He played men too. He just played the grandma and played the mom. Like, I don't think we should feed so much into it with, you know what I'm saying, just because of who is doing it and the fact that they are comedic actors. If it was, like I said, if it was Denzel, or if it was Damson Idris from Idris Alba, if it was like the niggas that you like, bro, you really are known as like a huge masculine figure in this, and you don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I thought Idris Alba did. I'm not sure. I thought he did, but I don't know.
Who?
Idris Alba, I could have sworn. I thought he did. He might not have.
I don't know if he just did. I don't know. I just think that the ones that we really reference are the when they're all being funny, they're all, you know, they just, I don't know. Like I said, just my opinion, I look at it and I say, well, we're not the only ones that have done it. And that energy is not, it's only, I think it stems from us just thinking that, like, damn, why every time I see them, they have to do something in the dress? Like, well, you could have a point there, but I think it's more so of like, they chose to do that. Like, they made a choice to do that. Nobody is forced. Eddie Murphy, when he did the Nutty Professor, had done countless works of just being funny Eddie Murphy. not like he came out the gate and it was like, you know what, Eddie, in order for you to get on, you got to put a dress on. It's like, bro, no, I'm already a comedic legend when he did The Nutty Professor. You know what I'm saying? It's like Shanae is a fire character. He played his mama too. It's acting. So like, I know where it stems from. It stems from our trauma and slavery, and like I said, there's always some type of, you know, logic or legitimacy you can pull from it. But I just don't think that deep into it.
I kind of agree with the whole thing. It's like choice, you know. Sometimes conspiracy theories feels like it's some kind of hidden agenda to get a black man to address, but or anybody for that matter. And sometimes it does seem that way, but sometimes I feel like it's possible that the comedians started it themselves. Because I don't know how many times, you know, me as a person who likes to clown and laugh and pretty much love and enjoy comedy, you know, I've acted like a homosexual or like a girl in funny before, and not necessarily because someone told me to. I just genuinely thought it was funny. You know, I grew up in the era of the Def Jams, and, you know, Wayne's brothers, and they would do their different thing with the color and stuff like that. So I just find everything funny. But it is a coincidence. You know, it is kind of crazy how if you really look back, everybody who's anybody has been in the press. And so it does kind of feel kind of crazy when you really think about it, you know, because man, that pretty much every famous big time up there that you see them in a dress. You know, especially when it comes to these actors and stuff like that. Musicians is something totally different, but actors for sure. Any major actors, you know, we end up seeing them in a dress, and it's crazy. You know, I think to me a bigger thing going on to me in Hollywood actually when it comes to us blacks is the fact that I'm starting to notice that there's not a lot of real. Well, I'm not going to say real, okay, not real blacks, but I don't want to get into. That's probably the bad choice of words. I was going to say real blacks, but I noticed a lot of the black people that we are getting in film are in general, not just black people, but I'm just saying black people. Since this is a Black Man's podcast, is overseas. I noticed we're not having a lot of American actors in general. Like a lot of these actors that we have now are actually, you know, they're from overseas. And we find it out when they go into it. We finally figure it out when they have an interview or something like that. And all of a sudden they have an English accent or something. Like, what the heck's going on? That's one thing I've noticed, like crazy with these actors and stuff in the films and stuff like that. 'Cause I think you guys touched a lot of stuff based on also when it comes to like depressing stuff, kind of deep into it, and it could be a coincidence, but at the same time, like I say, you know, naturally, you know, people would do stuff like that, thinking that you know you might find it funny, you know.
It's kind of like in a way where if you ever looked into how dogs were domesticated or like how fox are being domesticated, it's over time. So you kind of like do it over nature where over time, you do it little by little, you keep doing, it until it sets in. So when it comes to the black men in the dress theory, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some truth to it, personally. Because yeah, you're right. It may be choice, but sometimes if the choice works out into what I want or where I want it to go, then I'm going to keep letting you make that choice. Like, if you look at a lot of those guys' career, a lot of those guys seemed like the career started, went to like a whole entire level once they did the dress thing. And that's the whole entire narrative of the whole entire argument. You can't really become big until you go through that. Once you go through that, that's when you break out, because that's what everybody says. I mean, again, let's go back to the Rock situation. Rock, when he wore a dress, he was very, very small. That was like right after the Scorpion King. And then right after the Scorpion King, after he wore a dress, Rock has been going forever and going really, really hard. Who else? Oh God, there was a.
I mean, yeah, you know what? What's crazy? That's just chime in. I feel you on that, but I just sometimes I feel like it could be some truth to it, but at the same time, it feels like it could be coincidence too. It just feels like it is possible that that it could be coincidence because what people find humorous and different things of that nature. Because yeah, he kind of blew up a little bit more after the whole dress thing. I think you're probably referring to the Tooth Theory, if I'm not mistaken.
No. It's the Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
The Rock was on the Saturday Night Live.
Yep, in a dress. Yep.
I don't remember that, but I know. I thought the Tooth Fairy. I think he had like a tutu or some shit on. But
Yeah,
anyway, it's one of those things that sometimes it feels like it could be real because of the conspiracy theory, but it's just sometimes I feel like it's kind of difficult to. It's kind of hard to. I always kind of believed it a little bit, but at the same time, I feel like it also could be a coincidence because when I just put myself in it on a try to get a little bit more personal, is like I say, I used to like to clown, I used to like to be funny. And even before I really saw anything, like when I was a kid, before I saw it before I was a kid, and before I saw anything, I thought it was funny to act like my grandma or act like the old ladies that I thought was funny, or something like that. I thought, I found humor in everything. So it was something that came natural without any influence to do so. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that, I can see that starting out that way, and then maybe, in a sense, let's just say as a comedian, you have a few comedians, they dress up as an old lady or as their sister or whatever, and it's funny and it hits. And you got all these writers and they're trying to say, oh, what could set it off? What could set it up? What could make what could make this go even better? Well, getting in the dress worked for Richard Pryor, getting in the dress works for whoever, Jamie Foxx or whatever the case may be. Now let's just say there was no agenda for those two guys, right? They just thought it was be funny to play. Jamie Foxx just thought it would be funny to play the ugliest, buffest chick on television. He thought that would be funny, which he was freaking hilarious. You know, I mean, it was funny, but the whole thing is like, what if that necessarily wasn't the agenda, but people started doing it so much that they thought that the writers and the producers felt they were it's just rinse and repeat. It's kind of like the interview with Lavelle Crawford the other day. He was like, you embody what you're around and what you're into when it comes to comedy. And he was talking about how Cat Williams basically ran with his first role, the Money Mike thing. He come out with the Pimp Chronicles. He didn't put. We don't know if Cat Williams was ever a real pimp or not. But guess what? We see him as a pimp.
Yeah.
because he has literally built his whole career around that character, even outside of Friday. So I say that to say that, you know, Hollywood may, it could, I'm pretty sure there's some conspiracy in there, but they could just be following suit. They look at what works, and then they take what works and they amplify it. That's what they do. They take what works and they amplify it, and they could put the money behind it to make it pop even harder. And you know, that's why sometimes I feel like when it comes to the conspiracy, it's some truth to it. And you know, like I say, with they hey, this is working. Hey, let's let this guy do it. Look at freaking Martin with the freaking fat suit. That was like Cat Williams was clowning on one of his stand-up. You know what you need? Fat suit. Because when Eddie Murphy got on the fat suit, he was able to have what 2, 3 Nutty Professors, and then Martin, and he had his 2 or 3 Big Mamas. You know, and I think it'd be like that. Like when they were in a meeting, fat suit. Oh, they're in a meeting, dress. Because when so and so had a dress and he was acting like this, it was funny. One of the most hilarious moments is I think it was Damon Wayans. I'm not sure. I get them confused a little bit, but when in Beverly Hills Cop, he had such a small role, such a small role. That role was that little bit of screen time that man had acting like a gay man was freaking hilarious when he was handing him the bananas. It was so simple, it was so subtle, but it was freaking funny, and it stuck. And it's just like we could sit up here and we could think like, okay, this is happening because of that and oh whatever. But at the end of the day, I think what's really going on is somebody started it. Maybe more than one person started it. And they start seeing a pattern and they're like, we need to do that. That works. This is what's funny. Let's do this. And then you have people who turn it down, and you have people who don't turn it down. Most of the time, if the people that you people is cutting, you know, these huge checks, I just realized I didn't even know um, that these actors get paid the way they do. I'm starting to see more and more like numbers come out, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like not that I know it's not he's not black, but the Asian from Walking Dead, the dude
Oh
was
yeah.
making 60,000 or something, a episode, a freaking episode, not
Mhm.
not just the like, oh, do a few do this much amount of work. No, this dude was making $60,000, whatever the hell it was, each episode, bro. Each episode. So these motherfuckers is handing me all this damn money. I'm just following suit. It might be funny. You know, it's rare
That's a great
that
point.
as much as Dave Chappelle talks stuff about stuff, he's been in the dress too.
Yep. Yep, that's
That's
true.
a
Because
great point.
at the
I
end of the day, it's all about the Benjamins, bro. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers, I didn't realize it's been a few other times, but I'm starting to wake up a little bit more now. But
I can tell.
I didn't realize how much these actors are really making. It making me feel like I made fucked up life decisions. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because on DP, if I had the ability to really remember a script, I could do that shit blindfolded.
Just be extra then.
I've proven it. No, like literally, I just proof in the pudding.
No.
I'm
What I'm saying is extras get paid, just so you know.
yeah, yeah, I know. Extras good. I know. My wife to this day still get a couple pennies from Karina. Okay, Karina, she was a little girl, dude, a little girl singing in the choir, a smidget in the movie, but she was right up front. Still get residuals for that.
Hmm.
So I know. There was I don't know how it works now, but back in the day, these actors were getting banked.
Yeah.
And I used to wonder why they get these low budget ass movies and why they even part of this production because they getting paid.
Hmm.
They getting paid. People is making some real money off of these shows. It don't be on something that's popular, a show or whatever, a movie. They're getting paid. That's the only reason uh Terrence Howard turned down Iron Man. He really didn't think about it. He didn't look at it. All he saw was the numbers. If they let's just say if they say whatever you got a job you got to do, and they say, hey, we're gonna pay you we're gonna pay you $1,000 for this job. Cool, cool, no problem. Let's say and then the next time then they say, oh, we want you to do the same job with a little bit more, but you know what? Instead of $1,000, we want to give you 200. you know, because it wasn't that big of a role, man, and we kind of just needed you in there, so we paid you this much, and now so it's like one of those things where he got all the stuff on his table. He had all the stuff on the table, and the agent pulled it up to him like, "Hey, man, they try to take 75% of revenue away from what you made on the last movie." And the numbers don't add up because you're supposed to technically in any situation in Hollywood, which is why they do it, if you are in the sequel, you get paid more. Unless you're people like um, um, Keanu Reeves, where and when he chose to get paid less so other people could get paid because he's just that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But most when there's a sequel, and that's why a lot of times you'll see sequels can't do stuff like Fast and the Furious and how Marvel has done the Avengers and different things over the years because that costs money. Every time those actors play that character again, they got to get paid. That's why old girl who played I think Black Widow. I think it was Black Widow.
Scarlett
She
Johansson.
got
Yeah.
huh?
Scarlett Johansson. Yeah.
Yeah, she got upset about the whole series thing because she's still playing the same character. She's supposed to get a certain amount of money to keep playing that character. And when they shifted to a series on Disney, the pay changed.
Yeah.
And that's not how that's supposed to go. Each time that person plays that role, he or she is supposed to make more money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these cats is getting paid, and at the end of the day, it's all about the business, man, and it's all about what they see. What they see works. They
So
see
That's
that
the
shit
part right
work. They
there.
like, huh?
No, I'm saying that's that's a fact. Like if they made the movie and it does good at the box office, they're gonna make a sequel, right? I
Right.
think to touch on what you were saying, like, and what you were saying earlier, G, like, I was just doing a little bit of research while you was talking, and these, like I said earlier, it's not like these people already had successful careers prior to wearing a dress. Like prior to doing any, it's not like this was their breakout moment or like a lot of these,
Exactly.
like Martin Lawrence. I'm looking like Martin Lawrence, like a lot of these films, like after Martin did Big Mama's house, that was like almost his, like the end of his, like a lot of these people's biggest careers, like Eddie Murphy's biggest movie, Nutty Professors is not Eddie Murphy's biggest film.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just something that they did throughout the course of their career, you know, that they just happen to fall into, like, oh, let me try to act like a female or whatever. And
exactly.
You know, it just happened to be like that. Like on In Living Color, you know, Jim Carrey was definitely acting like a female too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't just, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the Waynes, they had the two gay dudes. Like it was a lot of that on there, but nobody be like, well, look at Jim Carrey, and they trying to put the white man in the dress. Like, I think it might just, I think it's a little, maybe just a little over. Like you said, it might just be a coincidence of that. And then I was looking at the other black actors. There's a lot of black actors that have never been in a dress.
Right.
Ever, and have amazing. You ain't never seen Morgan Freeman in a dress.
Right.
You ain't never seen Denzel Washington in a dress. You ain't never seen Lawrence Fishburne in a dress. You ain't never seen Samuel L. Jackson in a dress. I can go down this list. I'm just looking at the top 100 actors, and there's a lot of them that have all-star legendary careers without doing that. So because they're not comedians, like they're not comedians, bro.
That's the key. Normally it's comedians that are in dresses and stuff like that a lot of the times, because a lot of the times they do it to be funny. It's very rare you'll see somebody in a dress where it's not meant to be funny. Where it was like even what's his name? Meet the Fockers, the one who plays the dad, the Fuckers, the dad. He did a whole film of him portraying a woman. You know?
Yeah. That's
another comedian.
Yeah.
You know, that's another comedian. So I think a lot of times when people think it's like a humiliation ritual and all these different things like that, you know, some of these, if it's not the studio saying you should do it, sometimes it's them themselves thinking that it would be funny. Like you said, freaking hated it. Z Snap, that was hilarious. Okay, that was hilarious. This is why this is why people are so, to me, are so freaking uptight. Because I'm sorry, I'm going to say it now, and it shouldn't be no issues. Gay people, especially back in the day, are some of the funniest people in the world naturally. Okay, they do funny shit. The shit is just funny. Okay, I'm sorry, it's funny. So you as a man, you imitate that stuff because it's freaking funny. It's not nothing personal. Nobody needs to get canceled. It's just some stuff. It's funny.
Yeah,
it's funny. Man. You know what I mean? It's funny. Some of the gayest people I've been around before was a popularity thing. Okay, but that's a whole nother topic. Before this popularity, before it was cool to be gay, people were just gay and they were just freaking funny. They were just naturally funny because that's how they freaking act, and it's just funny. And then as a comedian, that's what you do. You find something funny and you take that and you bend it and you stretch it and you exploit it and then boom, there you get the freaking laughs. You know, and people are just so uptight. People just uptight. You know? Like I said, it's about what it works. And like he said, the top actors haven't even wore a dress. Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
I ain't seen Denzel Washington in a dress yet.
Yeah. That's why it's like, it's a little bit of a stretch to say, like, no, once they had to wear a dress to be successful. No, that's cap. They were already successful. And then a movie deal popped up where they was like, either them, if like, so the Wayans brothers, they made White Chicks. That's their movie. They literally wrote the film and said, hey, you know what would be funny, brother? If we dress up as two white chicks. Didn't nobody come to them and say, here's a script for you niggas to go get in a dress and act as girls? Like Martin's show,
Exactly.
that's his show. Martin said, "I'm about to play my mama. I'm about to play Shanae." Like these
Yes.
are their ideas and concepts in which at that time Martin had already done Def Comedy Jam and had already been
Which is
Martin Lawrence. That's
why
why he got the show.
exactly. That's why he got the show.
Yeah, I
That's
just
why
think
I say it's kind of debunked when people sit up here and say, "Oh, well, it's just because he had to put him in the dress." And like you said, these people had careers before they were in the dress. These
yeah,
like
their biggest
the
films
Rock had a
and
career.
the dress.
He was referred to the Rock. The Rock had a career before he was in the dress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Being tough. He had a huge career being a tough guy. Huge
yeah,
career
yeah.
being a
Right.
tough guy. You know,
Yeah,
I smack your
yeah,
candy ass. Who
yeah,
who who
yeah,
who doesn't quote who hasn't quoted people who don't even watch wrestling like that has quoted some of the Rock's outlandish comments that he's made over the years.
yeah.
You
He's
know,
still looked
like
at as masculine as well too. Like nobody looks at him and be like, "Oh, you wore a dress, you ain't." You know what I'm saying? They still
right,
look at him as the Rock today. He's still that
right.
guy, like with the
This
same image.
dude, this dude is swole.
Oh wait,
This dude,
Shibi. Hold on. Can you say that again? Shibidi. I mean, Keith. Can you say
what?
that again?
That wasn't me. That was him.
No, no. You just said something. What were you saying?
I said he was
It doesn't
swole.
matter what you were about to say.
Oh Lord.
But but anyways, all right. I mean, I guess there's some truth to that. So yeah. I got one more.
The biggest point he said when he was just talking was the fact that these people were already famous when they did the stuff. They
Yeah.
already were there. So they just, if anything, them or the studio elevate them.
Yeah.
Because they was already, like you said, they already had the careers. That's how they
But that's
got
the
the
point.
show.
You just said it. That's the point. That's what they said. Like after you do that, it elevates your career. So that's the argument for it.
No. I'm saying they that's the whole point of the business.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point of business, not as a conspiracy, as a business decision. What can elevate me? I've been having a brain fart right now. I haven't been able to draw for weeks because I've been constantly running my brain. What could elevate me? What can sell? I need these people need to see something new for me. I done this show for 2 years. Uh, um, actually, well, shoot, maybe longer now. I don't know. I don't want them to see the same stuff anymore. I want that to be there, but I want to have all new stuff for returning customers so that I could, get more sales. And it's driving me crazy trying to figure out how to elevate.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like a part of business, period. That's a business
Yeah,
decision, period. No matter what you're doing, you're always constantly trying to. That's why they're thinking about putting all the streaming services back together, like again, like cable and stuff, because they're constantly thinking like, okay, this streaming thing is working, okay, but we need to build more revenue. These studios is asking for more money. These actors are acting for my money. So what can we do to elevate this situation so we could compensate this situation? How can we elevate?
Yeah.
No matter what type of business you're in, you constantly trying to find ways to elevate. And
that's true.
you look at history. You look at the history. You know, they put Nick Cannon in a dress on all that. I wasn't really watching all that when Nick Cannon was on there. I'm the OG all that. I was watching all that before Nick Cannon even got on that show.
Yeah.
But but all that they based it off of shows like
Mm-hmm.
Saturday Night Live and Live in
Yeah,
Color. So
yeah,
they said, "Oh, that works for them.
yeah.
Let's see if it'll work for Keenan and Nick Cannon."
Yeah, yeah, and it's just being different. Like at one point,
Yeah.
it's trying to say, well, what can I do that is different? You know, I done played every other role. I done played a cop. I done played a thug. I done played whatever. What, you know, it's acting. I don't think people really understand how acting works when you playing a role of someone. It's just the next, and it's not like they did that and then they skyrocketed their careers either. If you look at a lot of their movies, their bigger movies were before they even did that. Like a lot of their bigger projects was before they even, you know what I'm saying, or after, where they wasn't wearing a dress. Like Bad Boys, it was just, you know, that's probably Martin's biggest franchise. It is. It's not Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Mama's House. You know what I'm saying? It's something where he's
Big Mama's House lower on the food chain, especially that last one.
right. Yeah. I mean, Eddie Murphy got all the Coming to America. I mean, come on, bro. He has countless movies. Beverly Hills Cop. These are all movies that people would put over the Nutty Professor, bro. So, like, I think that it's just something that they'd be like, man, it's funny. It'd be funny. You know, like I said, Tyler Perry built his whole career on it. And you can't, you know.
Exactly.
He was already cracking.
He thought it would be funny, and he was right.
Yeah, he was
as
right.
Much as I got mixed feelings about Tyler Perry, but at the end of the day, that fool figured out how to be a character that he figured out how to be a character, and that helped him. That probably helped him get on stage. I don't know if you ever been on stage before, but if you get on stage and you don't have to be yourself, you accomplish a whole lot more. Like I think it was like that when before, like me, I like dance. I love dance. I'm not the best dancer, but if everybody's looking at me, it's difficult for me to dance. But back in the day, when I would paint my face and nobody knew who I was, I would dance.
Yeah.
I would freaking dance my ass off. But even now, like even later on, I would have to I'm not a drinker, but guess what? I got to down a couple before I can dance in front of you.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but it's like it's the character. You know, they tell you when you when they tell you when you want to start a YouTube channel, they say, "Hey man, make a character and get you out of those jitters." It's not me. It's my character. You know, and then get and that's what that fool did, man, with that character, and he embodied it. That fool can't do nothing else.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now think about it. Yeah, right. You elevated him to what he that's what he can do now, and he was already built his. Nobody told him to create a character name, but like nobody. He did that, and then by him deciding to do that on his own, built his career to where he was able to grow and do things from that. Like that was his own original idea that he based it off of someone he knew. He was like, I thought it'd be dope to do this. So I don't think it's always that. I don't think it's that at all, honestly. I mean, there may be something to where like somebody kind of bring it up and then be like, all right, it just be funny. But if it's funny, it's funny. It was funny when Jim Carrey did it. I loved Mrs. Doubtfire. That's one of my favorite fucking Robin Williams films. He did excellent. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He did really good in that film. It was just like he acting, So we gotta not transfer that buck breaking and trauma into everything. Be skeptical. Right. I get it. Why we like hey man, we start trying to do to our people, but there's a lot of people that just don't fall into that category because they don't have the. It's not for everybody.
Like how the stupid reason that they canceled the PJs for the stupidest reason ever. They just talking about it's offensive. It's offensive to people in the projects. You don't know if it's offensive to people in the freaking projects. How many people in the projects do you really talk to? Let's keep this 100. You see the project, you drive right past it. You ain't never been in no damn projects. You just the show was too damn successful, and y'all didn't like it, and y'all canceled it. Mm-hmm. That's what that was. Because if anything, wasn't that new Good Times? That's overly That's what's offensive. See, the PJs had black writers. It was offensive jokes, but there was jokes, and there's boundaries for certain jokes. There are certain boundaries that you don't overstep to be completely disrespectful.
Yeah.
And the new Good Times don't have any black writers. I think, or they might have one, but he's probably not a real ninja. You know?
Yeah, right.
And it's, I don't know if you've seen that cartoon, but I couldn't watch it anymore. As much as I love comedy, the reboot I kept trying to give it a chance, but I was just sitting there appalled. Like, they don't have no black writers on you, and then I looked it up. They don't. There's like one black dude on the thing, and I don't even think, like I said, I don't feel like he's a real. You know, people. People get I don't know. I think people look at the wrong stuff when it comes to entertainment and don't really look at the real deal. They just want to. I think they need that. Oh, this must have happened for him to get this, or this must have happened for him to get there. Because it feels like that a lot of time. Everybody knows everybody. Yeah. Everybody feels like to come up, you got to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that's tied down, and a lot of times that's really what it be. It really don't be you got to be addressed. If you really look back, man, half of these actors are other actors' kids, relatives, friends, associates. If you really, I remember I did, and I was tripping off that. Like, half of these, it's rare that you really see somebody that just came from like out of nowhere and just, I'm gonna be an actor and get a big role like that. You don't see that number. Half of these people are related. You'll be surprised when you figure out how many people are related to other famous people and are know of other famous people that's in the industry right now, whether it be music, whether it be acting, whatever. A lot of these major players, you will find out later that they were so and so's daughter or so and so's cousin.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what they do. They do it at my job. They swap people in the office all the time. They never post it. We're like, then when are they hiring in the office? They always hire. It's like, I never seen this person. Where this person come from? They don't even announce it. What they do, they just go get one of their people that they want in there and put them in there.
All right. So I got one more topic I want to go over before we end this podcast. I just got one final one.
Okay. Dude, I understand you. I know we know. I've been waiting for it. I understand. We know, dude. You're gay. All right, I'm done messing with you. I have to wake up a little bit. Go ahead.
All right. So this is the last one I have. Did you guys hear about the Baton Rouge situation that's going on right now?
What?
The Baton Rouge. I'll actually share the Oh, wait a minute. You're my fault. You're on the phone. So basically, what's happening is over there in Louisiana, there's a town called Baton Rouge, and I'll just give you the short version. Basically, I guess the rich side of town voted to separate from Baton Rouge and make their own city because they basically said that they got tired of the crime. But then the other side is angry because they're basically saying that it's racist. So basically how the split is happening is that now the new city that's being made, which is called St. George, is now going to be 80% white, and then the other side is basically mostly going to be black. the black side is kind of mad because they're losing taxpayer money, but then the white side is what they're saying, that they're pretty much mad because they're not happy with the schooling, they're not happy with, I guess, the laws, and basically they want to it's a big thing that's going on, and I kind of wanted to see. I wanted to know how you feel about it, about this, about the town separating into basically the white, basically it's the white side or the rich folks separating to their own city and creating a new city, where Baton Rouge is just kind of basically it's going to be left to own devices, I guess. So I just want to know.
That ain't new.
Yeah.
That ain't new. I mean, what people don't understand, if they're worried about crime, provide more resources and jobs to people, and it'll bring your crime rate down. Like, studies show that people don't just do crime to just be doing crime. Like if they're doing crime, if they're doing those things, there's the reason for that. Don't isolate and take away the money that they do have for their community and then separate yourselves. Like, it's well known that communities without resources, without proper education and access to livable jobs and be able to take care of their family, that's why they do crime. They steal and they rob and they kill for that reason. So why is that not the focus of trying to figure out how that they can make sure, that's just segregation again. I don't know. From what you're telling me, maybe I have to read the article and learn more about it, but from what you're telling me, is the white folk are tired of the niggas and their crime, their crime.
Well, it's actually well, what they claim is the educational system. So I'll read a little bit of the article right now. I'll just read aspects of it. So basically, a wealthy group of Louisiana residents from the St. George Parish area, which is basically the rich area, have won a decade-long legal battle to split the city of Baton Rouge and form their own in an effort to buck taxes and crimes. The Louisiana Supreme Court ruled 4-3 in favor of incorporating the new city of St. George, which will form in the southeast region of Baton Rouge. Although the city council members are urging for the court's reassessment, arguing that the information filed by the organizers during the hearing is incorrect. It's never been about race.
Said Baton Rouge.
Yeah, Baton
Rouge.
Oh yeah, Baton Rouge.
Oh shit. And they're doing because of taxes and crime, is what you said?
Yeah, that's what this article says right here. Taxes and crime.
What do they mean, taxes? They're gonna go and separate and pay lower taxes? I don't understand that.
So like I'm reading the article right now. We've been paying for a lot of services that we don't get the benefit of using, said Andrew Merrill, spokesman of the St. George campaign. At this point, we want to take our tax dollars and use them in our area for our services for our citizens. So, it's about accountability.
That's I mean, that's the way it's always been. Circulate the money. The white people circulate the money through their communities to benefit their community. That's what they want to do. They said, we tired of helping you niggas out, and at the end of the day, y'all need to figure out how we ain't got to deal with all this crime. Now, does that make sense? From I try to put myself on both sides of that field. If I'm living in a community where I'm paying more taxes and crime is fucking up my community, would I want to move to or do something else to be away from that? Sure. Do I think that they should split the town off instead of resolving? Like, why don't they pass legislation or a law to fix the problem? I hate when people do that. That's not to isolate yourself from a problem that doesn't fix it. The problem is if these people that are on the opposite side of town are committing crimes, there's a reason why they're committing the crimes. And if it's affecting the people in the higher communities, then why not bring some laws to where that money can be put, that they are spending on the taxpayers' dollars, can be put in better places to benefit the less fortunate of those people, right? That's what I don't get. I don't know why they just don't solve the issue and say, well, hey, if people are committing crimes, that must mean that there's not enough jobs or enough people getting hired for those. It's the same. This is an issue that's been happening forever. That's no different than redlining.
Mm-hmm.
That's redlining at its finest. It's not a new issue. They want to redline it. They want to separate the area. They're probably gonna take the area that was in the low income area and gentrify it and make it to where more people like them want to move into that part of town and circulate their dollars so that that their people, their generations can benefit off of their wealth. Yeah, that's the same. That's the same. That's same shit, different day.
The video I saw, the big thing about the other side, what they said was the issue they were having was they weren't happy about the schools and they want to raise their kids in better schools. So I just want to make sure that at least their argument is better represented in the article I sent you. At least
I'm pretty sure the poor people want to raise their kids in better schools too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, why not just solve the problem of poor education as a whole, or move, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure these people don't want horrible education for their children either. So what's the root of this issue is what I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the real problem here?
Yeah, I totally agree. I've always agreed with that. That's the problem. People just want to run away from the problems instead of fix problems. I always say that even in relationships with people in general. People just want to run away instead of trying to come up with some form of solution, and especially when the solution is simple. You know, to me, I feel like the solution is simple, but unfortunately, because most the rich know that you need poor people for the economy to move, and that's why they'll never fix it. Because you need poor people, you need desperate people, you need that to keep the economy going. Because guess what? If everybody's okay, you're not gonna go freaking. There's certain jobs you're not gonna do. There's certain jobs you're not going to do, right? But when you become dependent on the government, and now it's like, dang, I don't want this job, but guess what? I want to feed my family. Now you're going to take that job. You know, that's why they train us to be workers. They train us to they don't train us. They don't teach us about money and wealth and being entrepreneurs or growing as they want people like that around, but they don't want too many of them. They don't want too many of us making any real money, because then like I say, you can't control people like that. You got to keep them down. A perfect example of trying to keep the people down is the movie Bug's Life. Remember that movie?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
Remember, the Hopper kept trying to keep them down because Hopper knew that if they stood together, that they would be stronger than them. So he had to play a mind game with the population to keep them poor and keep them down and keep them dependent on them. And then they're offering protection of, let's just say, let's put the army in there for protection. They offering protection for a threat that they don't even know exists. You know, protection for a threat that they don't even know exists. And you know, that's kind of like how we are, you know. We don't really know what's going on in office and behind these doors and these deals, and we just know whatever they bring to fruition. We just know whatever that they decide to tell us.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we know. We don't at the end of the day we don't know shit. Hell, we don't even know if aliens really exist or not. We have thoughts, we have theories, but do we really know? We're still in a debate if the moon landing was real.
Right.
You know? We don't know shit unless they want you to know. We be up here trying to figure out, and look, and if you do figure out the truth, and you make enough noise, you might disappear. Like, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
This stuff where we sit here and we try to figure out we trying to figure out this stuff, and if they this and if they this and if they like, they're not gonna do nothing, nor do they want to, because they got you right where they want you.
I'm gonna try to play devil's advocate. I'm probably gonna do a bad job at this, but I'm gonna try it. G from the future, I just want to say this cut, I know it's weird, but I decided to cut that entire devil advocate part out because I did a really, really horrible job. Like, it was bad, like really bad. So I cut it out and just decided to get to the premise of the argument. So, yeah, here we are. And yeah, let's get back to the podcast.
What?
You said what?
I knew I was going to do a bad job at this. I was trying to play a devil's advocate.
If you're referring to taking our money and going off and doing our own thing, is that what you're trying to say?
Basically, yeah. Like, we'll do our own thing. You guys do your own thing and leave you. Yeah, basically.
We already tried. How many times we didn't try that?
Right, and then think about where the money going to come from.
Right.
You know,
every time in history that black people have tried to go and be self-sufficient, it is always sabotaged by the white community. That's why I hate when people say that. Like, why don't y'all just pull yourself up from the bootstrap? Well, first of all, we don't have the generational wealth, guys, that you've built off of slavery and off of robbing and passing it down from generation to generation. You know,
and then when somebody does try to build something, you tear it down.
You tear it down, and when somebody tries to go get a loan to build something, there's discrimination. That stuff still exists. Like, access to capital is not the same for, it's just not the same, bro. And when we do try to do something, people have just known, like, oh, you might not be able to sustain that. That might not be a thing. So I think just now, the state that we're in now, it's not as easy to say, well, you guys just figure it out and, and build your own and have your own thing, when we know how the wealth gap is divided among race as well. Like, it's not, you look at that billionaires list, there ain't a whole bunch of people that look like us. And that's the same for the millionaires list. It's just what it is. That's being, so I think the bigger issue is like not saying why should they have to deal with that, because you're in Baton Rouge. So I don't know what community you're speaking of where 80% of this town is rich white folk. And
explain the town. So, so they're splitting the town. So with the new town's going to be called St. George. So it was all Baton Rouge. They're splitting the town. Like, it's already been voted in. So now the new town, St. George, is going to be 80% white people. And then Baton Rouge, which is still going to be a city, is going to be mainly black. It's already passed. So that's the
thing. Baton Rouge is already mainly black. So you mean they're going to take the minority of the white? See, now that's crazy. They're going to take the minority of the rich white folk and put them in another place, and then take the majority of the poor black people that live in Baton Rouge and put them on the opposite side of the city. Yeah, they're basically splitting the town. Yeah, they're basically splitting the town. Well, that's crazy, because if the majority of the people that live there are black, that's crazy to me. Because now you're taking away the resources and you're taking away the opportunities for. How do you think that's going to affect anyone that wants to bring a business into Baton Rouge? The fact that it's going to destabilize the economy that's there. It's not going to help anybody. It's just like, okay, yeah, let's leave the majority of y'all over here to fend for yourselves while we take our connections, and the businesses that we own, and any money we're putting into the economy to live here, and just go on and move this on our side. You know what I'm saying? It's like playing Monopoly and They play Monopoly, and the
a lot
nigga
of
that's
these
winning
people,
got the, you know what I'm saying?
a lot of these people not understanding this. They have, you have to have buyers and sellers for the economy to really grow. For a country to really grow, you need a
Right.
combination of buyers and sellers. And we're not doing that because everybody's selfish. Everybody's gatekeeping. Everybody's just trying to keep everybody else down. People get off on the fact that they
What's
have
going on,
more.
buddy?
Oh,
You good?
huh? Huh?
I'm gonna talk to you later, okay? I'm sorry. My bad. I was my neighbor.
The shit. You can't get this like this, or you can't get this like that. Everybody gets off on the fact that they can get the new hotness and you can't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, that threw me off, man. I was I'm trying to think what I was saying. Um, shit. Um, we get off on other people's sorrow. The human race, for some reason, gets off on other people. Majority of us gets off on people's sorrows and shortcomings and feel like they're doing something because they can get more. So that's the problem. So they like to keep the people down and keep the people up. And keep them up and not give a F about the other people.
I
I
don't
say
think I
people.
agree. I don't think I agree with the sense of you saying the majority of people. I think minority of people want to do that. I don't think the majority
What?
does. Benefit from their sadness or their suffrage. I don't think I agree with the majority.
You don't agree with it, the majority?
I don't agree with the majority of
Okay.
people want that.
Let's just go with a small group of people. Since this is the Black Man's Podcast, let's talk about Black people.
All right.
We literally make fun of our sorrows and shortcomings when it comes to the things. The Black people literally sit there and wait for an opportunity to bash you, bash their own people off their shortcomings real quick. Ninja, get a job. How about, okay, Ninja, give him a job. He don't have any skills. Ninja, teach him a skill. We don't hear that. Look, studying ass Ninja. What's like we take a positive and flip it into a negative narrative, and we put each other down because they feel like, oh, because they got more. Even if it starts at a young age. He has Jordans and he has Converse, so you're gonna put you're putting them down because they got Converse on and don't have $200 sneakers on.
But do you think
Like,
that's the majority of people?
what I'm saying is, when you see how the economy moves, how it's designed to keep the rich rich and the poor poor, it's kind of the same concept.
Yeah, but
People don't give a people don't care about the dude in the Converse. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just using it
Yeah.
as in our realm, but that's how they treat the country.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying
They
because
don't care about the people in the projects. They don't care about the people who having trouble making it. They want to act like they care about making facilities and claim that there's opportunities and stuff like that. But that's all just for show. Because behind closed doors, they really don't give a F. They don't care.
I mean,
But I'm sorry.
I don't want to. I don't. Well, no, I'm not trying to. I just want to say one thing because I don't want to get into a semantic argument because I'm gonna let you state your overall pick, your
Go
overall
ahead.
point. But that still kind of speaks for the minority. Oh, his phone died. All right. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah. So just real quick, Jason. His phone died, so he had to go. So I want to thank Jason for being on here. Definitely appreciate it. But anyways, crap. Okay. I gotta go soon too. But But yeah, but anyways, back to what I was saying. That's still like when you talk about the rich people keeping people down. Yeah, I could agree with that, but that still counts for a minority, not the majority. That's why I say I know. Again, it's a semantic argument, but my whole entire point was I just don't believe that the the majority gets off. I don't think that's your exact words, but I personally don't think the majority gets off of people's suffrage. I think the minority does, but I don't think the majority does. It's kind of my point.
I think the majority does because they've been benefiting over it for years. All the people in office and all the people who has the money, they don't have nothing to worry about. That's why stuff is.
But
That's why
they're the minority. There's more poor than are rich.
I see where you're trying to do it. So you kind of flipped a little bit. Go ahead because between him has stopped me before, and you kind of flipped a little bit. I'm kind of off, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of said what I have to say, but I'll just try to expand on it real quick. No, all I'm saying is that I don't believe that the majority of people actually get off or actually again, I don't think these are your exact words. I can't remember what your exact words were. But I just don't believe that the majority of people get off on people's sadness or suffrage. I don't believe that. I think it's the minority in the framing of the conversation. Especially when you talk about rich folks, I think it's the minority that gets off on that, but it's because the minority are the rich folks. The majority is not.
I remember now saying the majority of people in general personality traits. That's what I was getting off. Like
personality traits.
Yeah, like people get off on people get off on other people's sorrow. I don't personally, but I'm different.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the point I'm making. Yeah, no, I don't believe that majority of people get off on everybody's. I don't think the majority gets off on people's sorrow. I don't believe in that.
Yeah, I strongly believe it because I see it every day. You see it every day. You see people. Anytime, to me, I feel like this. Jokes is jokes, but anytime you generally like don't care about a person because they're low, you feel like they're beneath you, whatever for whatever reason, and you have no intentions on helping lifting that next person up. That's when I see a lot of those traits in majority of people, whether they're rich or poor. And the movie platform is when I think I brought it up on another podcast, and I was kind of waiting for somebody to watch it so I could kind of talk about it. But that's what I got out of the platform. The movie platform is on Netflix. I got that on the platform. No matter what position you're in, the next person is spitting and shitting on the next person. That's our reality. That's the world we live in. But that's kind of how I see our world and the human race as a whole when it comes to shitting on the next person. And then you have those few people who are like, "Hey, stop that," but they can't do anything about it. Then you have the people who try to do a little something about it. But at the end of the day, the majority of the people is shitting on the next person. And what they would do is when the platform get ready to go down to the next person, they would spit on it, or they would shit on it, or they would pee on it, and it would go to the next person. We look at people and we see somebody in pain, and we say, "Ninja," like I said, "Ninja, get a job." Not, "Ninja, let me give you a job." Oh, you don't know how to do this? Let me show you how to do this. We have stinky ass, broke ass, this and this, that, like that's what we did. That's what we show. That's how we show our love and respect to just the human race. And if they, especially if they not no kin to us. That's why I say majority, because the whole world is like that. In certain communities is worse than others, but they all have a trait of that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, all right.
But I get your argument, but I'm just saying even if you go with just us as Black people, that's a whole nother story that I don't even. It's so embarrassing. I don't even want to talk about it.
With that being said, I want to thank y'all for checking out the podcast. I definitely appreciate it. I want to thank Jason and I want to thank Keez for being on the podcast. On your way out, make sure to subscribe and follow depending on your platform. If you want to check out the audio forms of the podcast, all the links are down below. Make sure to check out the Clips channel. Hit the description over there on YouTube. But beyond that, there's not much I got to say. Thank y'all for checking this one out. Definitely appreciate it. And yeah, we'll be back next week with a new podcast. Have a good one.